It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man with a large fortune must be in want of a wife, and this belief was held most strongly in the Bennet household at Longbourn. Mrs. Bennet, whose greatest wish in life was to see her 5 daughters well married, was filled with excitement when she heard that Netherfield Park had been rented by a young, rich, and unmarried gentleman named Mr. Bingley. She immediately insisted that her husband visit him, as she was certain that one of their daughters must marry him. Mr. Bennet, who enjoyed teasing his wife, pretended not to understand her urgency, but secretly he had already paid Mr. Bingley a visit, much to his wife's delight when she discovered it. The Bennets had 5 daughters. Jane, the eldest, was kind, beautiful, and gentle. Elizabeth, the second, was intelligent, lively, and sharp-minded, with a playful sense of humor. Mary was serious and loved reading and moral ideas. Kitty and Lydia, the 2 youngest, were silly, energetic, and easily influenced, especially Lydia, who was bold and careless. Soon, the whole neighborhood was invited to a ball where Mr. Bingley would appear for the first time. Everyone was eager to meet him. At the ball, Mr. Bingley proved to be exactly as charming as hoped. He was friendly, cheerful, and eager to dance. He showed particular attention to Jane Bennet, dancing with her twice, which was a great sign of admiration. Mrs. Bennet was overjoyed and could already imagine Jane becoming mistress of Netherfield. However, Mr. Bingley did not come alone. With him was his friend, Mr. Darcy, a man even richer than Bingley, but far less pleasant in manner. While handsome and well-dressed, he appeared proud and distant, speaking little and judging much. When encouraged to dance, he refused, and when he was pointed toward Elizabeth, he said she was tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. Elizabeth overheard this, and though she laughed it off, she did not forget it. From that moment, she formed a strong dislike of him. After the ball, Mr. Bingley continued to show interest in Jane, and she was soon invited to dine at Netherfield. Mrs. Bennet, hoping to extend Jane's stay, sent her on horseback in poor weather, which caused Jane to catch a cold and remain there for several days. Elizabeth, concerned for her sister, walked to Netherfield to care for her. Her arrival, with muddy skirts and tired steps, surprised the elegant company there. Miss Bingley, Mr. Bingley's sister, looked down on her, but Mr. Darcy began to notice Elizabeth more closely. He admired her bright eyes and her lively conversation, though he tried not to show it. During her stay, Elizabeth observed much. She saw how deeply Mr. Bingley admired Jane, though Jane's calm nature made her feelings less obvious. She also noticed how Mr. Bingley's sisters seemed to discourage the match. Meanwhile, Mr. Darcy found himself increasingly drawn to Elizabeth, even though he believed her family connections were beneath his own. Elizabeth, however, still believed Darcy to be proud and disagreeable. Not long after, a charming officer named Mr. Wickham arrived in the neighborhood. He quickly gained Elizabeth's attention with his pleasant manners and easy conversation. He told her a story about Mr. Darcy, claiming that Darcy had treated him unfairly and denied him a rightful inheritance. Elizabeth, already biased against Darcy, believed Wickham completely. Her opinion of Darcy grew worse, while her liking for Wickham increased. Time passed with visits, dinners, and conversations. Mr. Collins, a distant cousin of the Bennets and the heir to their property, came to stay at Longbourn. He was foolish, overly polite, and eager to please. He intended to marry one of the Bennet daughters and chose Elizabeth. He proposed to her in a long, awkward speech, full of self-importance and very little understanding. Elizabeth refused him firmly, despite her mother's strong wishes. Soon after, he proposed to her friend Charlotte Lucas, who accepted him for practical reasons, valuing security over romance. Meanwhile, Mr. Bingley suddenly left Netherfield, along with his sisters and Mr. Darcy. Jane was heartbroken, though she tried to hide it. Elizabeth believed that Darcy and Bingley's sisters had persuaded him to leave and separate him from Jane. Elizabeth later visited Charlotte at her new home, where she again encountered Mr. Darcy. His behavior toward her was strange, still serious, but more attentive. Then, in a surprising moment, he declared his love for her and asked her to marry him. However, his proposal was filled with pride. He spoke of how he struggled against loving her because of her family's lower status. Elizabeth, deeply offended, refused him strongly. She accused him of ruining Jane's happiness and of mistreating Wickham. Darcy listened and then left. The next day, he gave her a letter. In it, he explained everything. He revealed that Wickham was not honest, that he had tried to run away with Darcy's young sister for her fortune. He also explained that he believed Jane did not truly love Bingley, and that he acted to protect his friend. Elizabeth read the letter again and again. Slowly, she realized she had been wrong. She had judged too quickly. Her pride in her own understanding had led her to believe Wickham and misjudge Darcy. Till this moment, I never knew myself, she reflected. This realization changed her. Later, Elizabeth visited Derbyshire with her relatives and unexpectedly toured Darcy's estate, Pemberley. She was told Darcy was away, but he suddenly arrived. This meeting was very different from before. Darcy was polite, kind, and welcoming. He introduced her to his sister, Georgiana, who was shy and gentle. Elizabeth saw a new side of him, a man respected by his servants, loved by his sister, and capable of warmth and humility. Her feelings began to change. But then trouble came. Elizabeth received shocking news. Lydia had run away with Wickham. This was a disaster. If they did not marry, Lydia's reputation, and the entire family's, would be ruined. Elizabeth was filled with shame and fear. She told Darcy about it before leaving. Unknown to her, Darcy took action. He found Wickham, arranged the marriage, and paid off his debts, all quietly, without seeking credit. When Elizabeth later learned what Darcy had done, she was deeply moved. His actions showed true kindness, far beyond pride or appearance. Soon after, Mr. Bingley returned. Encouraged by Darcy, he visited Longbourn again, and quickly renewed his affection for Jane. This time, there was no interference. Jane and Bingley became engaged, bringing great happiness to the family. Finally, Darcy returned as well. This time, when he spoke to Elizabeth, there was no pride in his words. He simply expressed his love, honestly and respectfully. Elizabeth, who had come to understand him fully, accepted him with warmth and sincerity. Their love had grown not from first impressions, but from understanding, change, and truth. Elizabeth had learned to look beyond appearances, and Darcy had learned to overcome his pride. And so, in the end, both found happiness, not just in love, but in becoming better versions of themselves. The Bennet household, once filled with worry and noise, now saw two of its daughters happily married, Jane to the kind and cheerful Bingley, and Elizabeth to the thoughtful and devoted Darcy. And in their story it became clear that while first impressions can mislead, true understanding takes time, and when it comes, it brings with it a deeper, more lasting kind of love.